name's Andy Hillier, and in this guitar lesson I'm going to teach you how to play I'll Be There For You by Bon Jovi. It's a classic, it's got some great guitar parts. I'm going to teach you the whole song apart from the guitar solo, which I'll do in a separate video. So I'm going to teach you all those little licks in the verse and teach you the chorus and the bridge parts, everything, but the solo will be on a separate video I'll do for you. But just before we get started, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, press that notification bell. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave me a comment in the comment section, even if it's just to say hi. It helps the video get some more views. But I'd love to know what songs I should do next as well. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want the tabs for the whole of this, then I'll put them on my Patreon page. A link to that is in the description. My guitar is in standard tuning. Okay, the first line of the intro sounds like this. It's played on like a sitar kind of sound, but I'm just going to play it on a normal sound, just on the guitar. It sounds cool. Okay, we're going to play the open D string, and at the same time we play G5. And then we're going to slide up to fret G7, and then play another G7, then play G7, slide up to G9, and then play G9 again, and let that D string ring through. We're then into bar 2 and play G9, slide up to G12, another G12, and then G12, slide back down to 11, and then play G11. So the first 2 bars go. The next bar, we're going to do the same as in bar 1. And then in bar 4, we're going to go G9, slide up to G12, play a G12, and then play a G11 like this. So if we put bars 3 and 4 together, you got. And there's only 2 beats in that bar number 4. Every other bar has 4 beats into it. So it's just about where the verse kind of comes in. Okay, so let's try the whole of that line. Here we go. Okay, on to the next line, and that G11 keeps holding on, and then there's 4 beats. The vocal comes in on beat 2 of that verse, and then it comes into the verse. So this next line then, it kind of feels weird without the bass, but the guitar part goes 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we play the open E string, and then play the bottom 4 strings at fret 12 as a harmonic. So I'm just resting my finger over where the fret wire is, rather than in the space, and I gently touch the string as gently as I can, and you get that harmonic. So you got into bar 7, and just stop the E string ringing and the 2 strings nearest to the floor, the E and B strings. So you've got the harmonic going, and the E string will still be ringing, and you just stop those ringing. So you're only left with the G and the D strings at the 12th fret harmonic. So you got this. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then into bar 8, we've got this lick goes. Okay, so to play that, middle 2 strings on fret 7, so D and G, and I'm going to slide up really quickly to G9, G and D9. Okay, so both fingers slide up. So D7 and G7 slide up to D9 and G9. We then slide them back down to fret 7. So you hit the 9 and slide back to 7. So and then you're going to play another 7 on both those strings. So we then go up a string to A and the D strings on fret 7, and it slides up to 9 and then back to 7. So We then do another hit on the 7 and slide back up to 9. So that bar goes rest. And then we play A5 and D7. It's like a D power chord. So bars 8 and 9 go 3, 4, rest. Okay, so the whole line then. So we've played a 11 on the previous line. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 3, 4. On to the next line, and we've got 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. So to play that, play the open E string and then a harmonic on D5, G5 and B5. Make sure you stop that E string ringing into the next bar. So you've got 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then a rest, and then E10 and B10, and then E5 and B5. Quick slide up to fret 7, so, and then play fret 5 again, so, and then play E5 and B7. So bar 12 goes rest. 2, 3, 4, and it holds into the next line, into the next bar, sorry. So let's try that line. Here we go. 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. On to the next line, and we've got this. Okay, so for that open E string, then the bottom 4 strings harmonic on the 12th fret, then play E, E2, E3. So you've got, and then this little lick goes, which is a double stop playing D7 and G7. Hammer on your 3rd finger to D9, then play G7 and B7, and then play those again, but this time quickly hammer on to fret 9 on the G string. So B7 and G7, hammer instantly onto G9, and then play a G7. So slowly, and then into the next bar we go, which is A7, hammers onto A9, then 1st finger flat across D7 and G7. So that lick, if we go from the previous bar, I got, and then we've got the little slidey bit, which is bottom 2 strings for all of this. It goes 10, slides up to 12, back down to 10, and then 5. Then play 5 again, slide up to 7, back to 5. And then into the next bar, 5 slides up to 7. So the whole line will go. On to the next line, and we've got. So to play that, open E, and then these are all harmonics. B7, G7, D7, B12, G5, D12, and then A12. So it's... Hopefully there makes sense. And then this little lick goes... So G7, I'm using my second finger, slide up to G9, and then play E9, back to G9, slides down to G7, plays E7. So then G7 slides to G6, then I'm using my first finger on E5, back to G6, slide up to G7, E7, then G7 slides up to G9, and then you just play the E9 and B9 and just slide down. Okay, so that lick goes rest. So the whole line will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, on to the next line. That takes us to the chorus where we've got this. So to play that, D power chord, which is just D with G2 and B3. We'll then have a B power chord, which is first finger A2, third finger D4, little finger G4. And then a little run up to the G power chord. So you play E, E2, and then the G power chord where I'm using my little finger on E3, third finger B3, second finger on E3 nearest to your face. And I just hit down, I miss the A string. Well, actually I play it, but my second finger touches that string to stop it ringing. Then there's an A power chord, which is open A with D2 and G2. 2 palm muted A's. And then a C power chord, which is A3 with D5 and G5. Another palm muted A3, then a palm muted E, and then a G power chord, which is E3 with A5 and D5. Then 2 open E's, palm muted at the end there. So that bar 25 goes. Okay, so the whole line goes 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2. And that repeats twice. So you play that line twice through for the first chorus. Then there's a little like the sitar bit from the beginning where you got. Okay, so we've played that already, just on the G string, play the D string and G5, slide up to G7, play another G7, G7 slide up to G9, another G9, G9 slides up to G12, and then play another G12, and then play G11. So you got. And bar 27 only has 2 beats in it because it goes into this next line, which is verse 2. Again, the vocal starts on beat 2 of that bar 28. And then we've got this. So you play the E string, harmonic on the 12th fret of the bottom 4 strings. Then E, E2, E3. And then we get this little line that goes, or little lick, which plays B3, slides up to B5, back down to B3. And then we've got this, which is a quick slide from G9 to G11. Then play E10. G11 slides to G12, E12, G12 slides to G14, then E14, G14 slides back to G12, and then you're going to play E12. So you've got, and then play E10 and G11 in the next bar. So the whole line, vocal comes in on beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. On to the next line where we've got this. Okay, so you play the E string and then a quick sweep down playing G5, B5 and E5, but they're all harmonics. So you just sweep down and then play B5, G5 and then D5, all harmonics. Or slowly. Then play B7 harmonic, and then G12 harmonic, and then B12 harmonic. So slowly. I love that little line. It then plays E, E2, E3. Make sure you're using your second finger there, because then you're going to play E3 nearest to the floor, B3 and the G string. So you've got into the next bar. For that, we hold down an A chord, which is D2, G2 and B2. And you play the A, D2, G2 and then B2. And then you hit your finger over the 14th fret, trying to hit the sort of B and G strings, maybe the D strings as well. But if you hit it really quickly, right over the fret wire, it should create that harmonic. You then play open B, then G2, and then G2 and B2. So bar number 35 goes. So the whole line will go like this. 4. On to the next line, and we've got the bridge. The first line of that goes. So to play that into bar 37, E3, then D, and then G, and then B3. So, and it does that twice. So. It then plays open A, then D2, G2, and B2. So it's playing like an A chord, but as an arpeggio. Then play open B, and then B2. So you got into bar 39, you got so A5, G7, B7, back to G7. So. Then move your first finger back to fret 4 on the A string. You play A4, G6, B7, then G6. So bar 39. And into bar 40, you play A2, D4, G4, back to D4, B2, D4, B3. Then it's just E, E2 as a little run to go into the next chord. Okay, so that line of the bridge, you've got. And the next line of the bridge, you've got this. So for that, we're doing like this G power chord. So E3, and then D string, and then open G with B3 and E3. So, and just let them ring together. Then take your third finger off and put your first finger onto B2, and you can play the open G, the B2 and the E3. It sounds dissonant, but it works. And then it goes back to E3, B3 and G. So slowly you got... And bar 42 is the same, so bars 41 and 42. We then get this, which is just going up the A chord, open A, D2, G2, B2, open B, and then G2 and B2. That just holds into the next bar. So the whole of that line of the bridge goes. 4. That takes us to the next line, which is the chorus, exactly the same as the chorus we've already played. So here we go. Okay, that takes you to the guitar solo, but I'll do that in a separate video. So if you want the guitar solo, watch that on the separate video, because that'll take a little bit of time. So then on to the next line, we've jumped all the way to bar 58. This is the bridge, exactly the same as the bridge from before, so it should make sense. So the first line of that goes. So we've played that line of the bridge. The next line of the bridge is slightly different. We've got the... Okay, so for that, the first two bars are the same as the second two bars of the bridge, where we play E3, D, and then G with B3 and E3. Go into B2, back to B3. So we've done that already. The first two bars are the same as that. And then we just get an A power chord, and you're going da, 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 ga, da, ga, da, ga, da, ga, da. So hopefully that makes sense. So that line. And there's a little slide going into the chorus. So the next line in the chorus, we've already done that. So let's play it. 3, 4. And then there's a key change. So on this next line, we've got this. So to play that E power chord, which is just E with A2 and D2. C sharp power chord, which is A4 with D6 and G6. A power chord, which is open A with D2 and G2. And then a B power chord, A2, D4 and G4. 2 palm muted A2s, D power chord, 2 palm muted Ds, then an A power chord, then 2 palm muted open Es. Okay, and that line repeats, so you play it twice through. So here we go, 3, 4. could play that till the end of the song, but then there is an overdub guitar which got the which is just octaves. You're going to play A9 and G11. Slide up 2 frets, back down 2 frets, and then down another 2 frets. So your first finger is going from 9 up to 11, back to 9, then back to 7. It then goes back to 9 and slides up to 11, back to 9, and then up to 12. You then play the 12, slide down 1 fret to 11, and then 11 down to 9. These are all octaves, so your little finger is always 2 frets up on the G string where your first finger is. So you got slowly. Up speed. And it does that 3 times. You then play 6 on the A string. Again, the other finger will be on G8. And then A5, so your little finger will be on G7. Then up to A9, and your finger is on G11, little finger. So that bar number 75 goes. So that's a little overdub guitar. And then at the end, we get the same like kind of as the intro, but obviously we're now up a tone. So you got. So all on the G string, 7 slides up to 9, then play another 9, 9 slides to 11, then play 11, then 11 slides to 14, and then 14 slides back to 13, and then another 13. So. And then 7 to 9, and play 9, 9 slides to 11, play 11, 11 to 14, play another 14, and then 13. You could put a low E in there as well if you wanted to. And that's the whole song. Well done if you've got all the way through that. It's been quite a long video. If you want the guitar solo, I'll do it on the separate video. Well, thanks so much for watching this. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier. Give me a like on the video, press that notification bell. And I do love to hear from you, so please leave me some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want the tabs for this and loads of other songs, then you can support me on my Patreon page. A link to that is in the description. Well, thanks for watching this. I do really appreciate it. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.